Are you ready to explore soul-centered sustainable living in today's reality? I'm Leslie Rangel, an Emmy-nominated Latina TV journalist turned emotional health and spiritual movement coach. Join me on The News Yogi, where we'll have conversations celebrating authenticity in a world that demands perfect curation. So come as you are, familia, not who you're expected to be. New episodes every Monday on your favorite platform. Hey y'all, welcome back to the News Yogi podcast. How's everyone doing? I am out here trying to drink my water, get my workouts in, be a good human, be a good friend, show up for people, show up for myself. Y'all, it's a lot. It has been a lot, but this week I want to talk about how we show up for others. In fact, a dear, dear friend of mine, I was scrolling through social media and she posted a reel. And she was like, I haven't heard from my friends. My friends haven't checked on me. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, wait a minute. Is she talking to me? And then I listened to the rest of the reel and it really sat with me because she was talking about her fear regarding all of these headlines that are popping up around gay marriage and what that means for her and her wife. And I commented on the reel, as you're supposed to do with your friends' content, hype it up, like it, comment, all the things. But of course, when I had some capacity, I sent her a text message and I was like, first of all, I was like, here's everything that I've been going through, just so she could feel the context. And then the other thing that I shared with her was, I am just genuinely sorry for not checking in. And we check in all the time. Just last week was really heavy for me. I was coming out of a deep reporting project. I was working on a long, deeply reported immigration piece, and then just lifing. My car had broken down, trying to set doctor's appointments. All the things were happening. But I realized in that moment, am I being a good friend? And I was like, you know what, Karla? I think I need to have you on the podcast. We need to talk about this because certainly I'm not the only one who feels that way. She shared that other friends in our group have reached out to her and they shared about their feeling that way. And so I thought it was an important topic. So today I'm joined by Karla Rendon. Everybody knows her as DJ KICKIT. She's an Austin-based DJ, a motivational speaker, community leader. She was born in Mexico. She's known for her high-energy sets that blend hip-hop, funk, and Latino classics. She's even shared stages with legends like DJ Jazzy Jeff. And then beyond the decks, she inspires young athletes as a motivational speaker and gives back through her annual toy and shoe drives. Her story is all about resilience, authenticity, and joy through the music. In this conversation, we're going deeper into her reel about the gay marriage challenges, the emotions behind it, and what it really means to navigate love, uncertainty, and sustainability in our relationships, both romantic and friendship relationships. So without further ado, this is my favorite way to introduce her, DJ KICKIT, my dear friend Karla.
Welcome We'll work on it.
Yes, we'll work on it. I got to keep working on it. Welcome. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Oh man, I'm always excited to talk to you. And I want to say before we kick off, I am very proud of you, friend. I am very proud of you for every single.
You're gonna make me cry.
That's all right. It's all right. I'm not gonna say anymore. Quiere llorar. You know how they used to roast us when we were kids. No, I'm so proud of you, friend. Like how long you've come, like from being in the news station, now doing your own thing as far as like what you're doing with the barbed wire, and now you've got your own podcast, bro. Like I am so happy for you. So I'm throwing you your flowers right now. A salute to you. I couldn't be more proud to see where you're at and honored, man, to have you as a friend and now be on your podcast. Let's get it.
So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. It's so nice to be able to have. We were talking just before we were recording. You were like, "Can I cuss?" And I was like, "This is my space. Like,
Yeah.
do whatever you want within reason."
Yeah, of course. I know. Jess was like, have a good show. Do not cuss. I was like, I'll ask. Because Sometimes, yeah, you know, we get very passionate about some
Yeah.
things. So,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
absolutely. And that's what the whole podcast is about, right? Really being able to take off that code switching that we are so
Man.
used to doing,
Hmm.
so used to showing up and being like the perfect example of who we're representing from our separate identities. And you got to fit in, you got to do all the things. No, like I'm
Right.
here in my full authentic self, wearing my little Mexican, Mexican clothes,
Mine
stealing.
says stealing jobs. I'm stealing. I'm coming for everybody's job now. I'm owning it.
Oh my gosh,
Y'all
I
better
love
watch
it.
out. Not your job. I don't know if I can do your job, but I'm coming for them.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, we're talking a little bit about a heavy topic today, but
Yeah.
before we do that, I do want to start off with something a little lighter, something to, ease the gente in.
Yeah.
So, what's bringing you joy right now in this moment when we're recording? What's bringing you joy?
Man, a lot of things. You know, right now I'm really into reading. I've become a book nerd. So fun fact, you know, I'm an ESL kid. My first language is Spanish, and I got picked on a lot because I couldn't speak English that well. One of the toughest words that I had as a kid was no, like I know you. Do you know? I used to say cano. I always had trouble with
Oh,
the silent letters. I would be like, this stupid English language. Why are they, if they're silent, why have them in there? And so
yeah.
it got me away from reading. And man, I've been a book nerd and a bookworm this whole year. Like knowledge is power. Now I get it. It sits now. But yeah, like reading brings me a lot of joy. Obviously, music as a DJ, listening to different stuff, even things that I already know, like the cheesy playlist that sometimes I have to play at weddings. I'm like, how can
Yeah.
I make this fun for me?
Yeah.
And then obviously like the joy in what I do. I'm gonna quote one of my favorite motivational speakers, and I'm honored to call her a coach. Her name is Jade Simmons out of Houston, Texas, and she says, "Purpose is not what you do." So my purpose is not to be a DJ. Purpose is not what you do. It's what happens in other people when you do what you do. So seeing people's faces light up when I have something in my brain, my hands translated into music. When I speak to kids and I share my stories that I was told to like sweep on under the rug, like who's gonna listen to your story? And you don't talk about your family business, and not only does it light them up, but it empowers them. So those are things that bring me joy right now. And obviously, you know, spending time with my wife and my baby. Her name is Xochitl, my dog,
No.
my four-legged dog, not a real baby.
And I always forget what kind of dog Xochitl is.
She's a boxer pit. So she has a stance and her paws are huge like a boxer, but her face is very pitbull. Blue eyes, de donde salió? I don't know. This and of all names, Xochitl. So
I
but
love it.
yeah, no, she's super sweet. She kind
Oh,
of looks like
I
this little doggy back here, so she's super sweet.
Oh, so
Yeah.
cute, so cute. And I love that. I love that. And I love that none of that revolved around social media, scrolling on social media, doing the thing, because I feel
Yeah.
like that's where a lot of us find ourselves is on social media. And it's such a good reminder to like be out in the world and
Be
be
present.
present. Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes. Don't get me wrong. There are moments where, like, I'll take the phone with me to the bedroom when I'm about to go to bed. And I don't purposely scroll to see what's going on in the world sometimes, although it's good to know. But I love to watch prank videos. I love seeing people
Yes.
get scared out of their asses. I love, like, a good baby video where the babies are being silly, a puppy video, dog videos. I'm
Yeah.
a sucker for all that. So sometimes you do find joy in social media, but you're right.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than being present.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I can relate on that because my husband is always sending me funny TikToks. And so I'll let them build up to they
Yeah.
get like 40, 50, sometimes 90 if we
Yeah.
haven't done it in a while. And then we just sit there and scroll through the
Yep.
funnies.
It's becoming a love language now. That's the same
Yes.
thing with me and my brother, me and my wife. Like, yeah, we're like, did you see this? Did you see this? So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Well, speaking about social media and scrolling, I was scrolling through social media and I saw you tag me on that reel.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was saying just before I introduced you that I was like, oh shit, I have not checked on my friend. And
No.
and
No.
then I also said, but we check on each other all the time. It
Yeah.
just this week was crazy, but for me, but I want to go back to, because of course some of the listeners, viewers may have no idea what I'm talking about. Tell me about the reel,
Yeah.
why you recorded it, and where that emotion came from to talk about it.
Yeah, when I woke up one morning and I, grabbed my phone, which I shouldn't have done. But I grabbed my phone and I was like, I went through my cycle, checking my emails, checking my Instagram, all that stuff, and I saw a post that said that now the Supreme Court may consider overturning. I don't know what the case was, but may consider overturning just gay marriage, period. And I was like, okay, here we go. I ignored it. But as I got on TikTok, and there's certain influencers that do also follow a lot of politics and what's going on in the world. I started listening to what they're saying, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like this may be real." And as I'm watching through things, and I obviously got upset as anyone would because I'm like, "This isn't new." Like this was only a matter of time under this administration that this topic was going to come up. But what pissed me off was where this stemmed from. And it stemmed from Kim Davis, clerk from Kentucky that was that had rejected a gay couple from, I guess giving them their marriage certificate or just pretty much like marrying them. And for her it was religious reasons. And I say this with a lot of love. I say this very carefully because I too was raised in a very conservative and religious household, but it never fails that it's sometimes the most religious people that have the most hypocritical backgrounds. I mean, this woman has been married 4 times, had kids out of wedlock while she was married to either husband number 2 or 4, whatever it is. And listen, I am by far the very last one. I will never judge. I will never judge you, whatever happens in your life. But for you to still 10 years, because gay marriage was legal in 2015. So for you, after 10 years, to take it upon yourself to now try and push this case to the Supreme Court, like what is going on in your life that is so bad that you still are holding on to this? And now you are about to impact millions and millions of couples. I hate to say like millions and millions of couples, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's
And
the reality.
yeah, and so I'll let you keep asking me questions, but that's what got me there is because like we know, you and I know, being brown, like the things that are impacting us every day. I'm scared for my dad. My dad looks the part. He's very dark skinned. He's out there working in landscaping, doing construction. I mean, he fits the bill. And there is nothing out there in the world to say he may get detained. My dad's legal. My dad was born here in the US. But because of his looks, I have to worry about him. I worry about my mom. I worry about me. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of events that I was DJing at that ICE was right next door. You know what I'm saying? There was, an incident last year where we had a bomb threat during Pride because we were hosting a drag show. So I always feel like there's a target, and it pissed me the fuck off. And I was like, I have to say something. And it also trickles down to the people that voted for this, for where we're at, just the same way I said it in my reel. And you were also screwed. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I'll give you that, but you also knew better. You knew what you were voting for. You knew who you were aligning against. And in those Pride months, like you want to come and say how much you adore both of us, we're couple goals and blah, blah, blah. And you and your wife are amazing. But then the rest of the year, you're silent. It's the same thing with corporations. So it's a long-winded answer, but it really pissed me off. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna speak up about this. I've never been one to hold back. And this was one of those that's like, okay, now you're messing with my marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I appreciate you sharing that, and I want to give some context on
Please do.
where this case is and what it even means. And I did a little bit of research. I remember covering the 2015 case, and I remember like that was huge. I mean, I remember the images. People were out in the streets with pride flags, and it was just so so beautiful. Like, the love is love is love is love. That was
Yeah.
a big thing then. But you mentioned that Kentucky clerk. So basically, she refused to give a same-sex couple their marriage license. And essentially, she's trying again. She's trying to appeal the decision. So what happened was this woman said, because of my religious beliefs, I'm a county clerk and I don't want to sign this marriage license because basically I'm anti-gay.
Yeah.
And they came back and said, well, you cannot discriminate against people acting as a member of the government. And so what they allowed her to do was, okay, if you don't like it, just don't put your name on it, but you can't deny a marriage license and act as a member of the government. And so that's essentially what happened, clearing the way forward. So what she wants to do is she wants to appeal that decision. But the interesting part, like you said, this impacts millions of people. And that's what legal experts say is one of the reasons why experts believe that the court won't touch this. They said, it would create a mess for families regarding taxes, custody, ownership, things like that. Most Americans do support marriage equality. And then there's another 2022 act, the Respect for Marriage Act, that adds another safety net. And so it would be really complicated because, then you could face things like gay marriages could be recognized in New York, but not in another state. And it would just be a whole mess.
But that was a concern when we got married in 2019. It's like, okay, what is this going to look like in Texas? And we asked the courts, like, do we now need to get a marriage license in Texas? And they're like, nope, it's recognized nationwide. I'm like, yes. And so, we've been filing our taxes jointly, et cetera. And it's just crazy looking back. Like, bro, I want to eat my cereal just like you. I want to go shopping just like you. I want to get married just like anybody else. Like, leave us alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say was, I don't want to downplay like the fear that a lot of people are feeling because I feel like in a lot of ways, this is what happened with Roe versus Wade. People said, oh, they would never overturn abortion laws. That would never happen. Roe versus Wade is solidified law in the United States. And look where we are. And so there is that understandable fear and that understandable caution. But it's always good to be informed in all the aspects too, with, again, that slight pause of, but wait a minute, like we are living in the word everybody always says, the quote, unprecedented times. So with that being said, you mentioned the fear that you have right now as a Latina woman who has the fear of your family with the immigration raids that are ongoing. Now you have this layer of, okay, what's going to happen with my marriage, with my wife? This is really heavy. How do you live with this uncertainty, and how are you learning to really stay grounded as we are navigating a lot of, I don't think I'm inflating this, but with a lot of terrifying what ifs.
Yeah. Shit is real, I always tell my wife when we go on road trips or when I go on road trips, like, I am a walking target. Her and I are a walking target. Like, I'm brown. I'm an immigrant. I'm a woman. I'm a queer woman. My wife, she is a woman. She is black. She is queer. You see what I'm saying? We are walking targets. And for a long time, I also, shame on me, right? But it wasn't until I saw it myself that she would always tell me, like, I want you to watch how differently I get treated when I go to a store. And I was like, you're crazy. Like, there's no way you would be treated any differently. I was like, the manager from the store is black. Like, I was so oblivious to certain things that she would tell me. And it was until one day that I saw it for myself and I got furious. I got pissed. It took everything in me to respect her wishes and not cause a scene.
What did you see?
Well, She had always told me that when she goes to stores, there was one particular store that she had went to. She's like, every time I walk in whatever area I'm in, let's say the cosmetics area, they're always customer needs assistance in the cosmetics. And she was like, oh, I didn't think anything of it. She's like, but it happened a lot where it's like, whatever code they used to say, hey, watch out for a shoplifter. It was like, she just like, it just felt weird. And so she would always tell me, and I was like, there's no way. So we went to another store, not the same type of store. I'm trying to be mindful of the companies, but we went
Look,
to,
I'm gonna say it. I've been
okay.
followed in Lululemon. You know, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
shop
Yeah.
there. It's been years since I shopped there, but again,
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm brown. Like I cannot escape it. I am by no
Mm-hmm.
means close to being a white passing Latina. I am
Yeah.
brown, and so I can understand where your
Mm-hmm.
wife is coming from.
We went to so that first store was a CVS. The second store where I actually saw this myself was at a Ross. And it was the same thing. And for some reason the people that were working there, they were just around our area more. And then I was looking around and I'm like, I was still like, there's no way they're following us. There's no way they're following my wife. Now I'm looking to see who else is around us, Nadia. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I apologized to her. I was like, I am so sorry that I did not see this. And so, of course, we had a conversation about this. And so, yeah, I mean, going back to your question, there is, we are a walking target, and there is a lot of information out there and a lot of misinformation out there. You know, there's lawyers in regards to this topic specifically about gay marriage. There's lawyers that say you need to get these 9 documents in place. Well, if you get them, then another lawyer will say the complete opposite. And then someone else will say, you know, it's going to be really tough for this to get overturned just the same way you mentioned. And another person said, well, if this does get overturned, because that's what we thought about the abortion bill, that's what we thought about some of these people that are American citizens or people that are going to their court hearing and then still
Yeah.
getting picked up. They're not
They're
supposed
only
to.
going after the criminals, quote
Exactly.
unquote.
And then you see the complete opposite. And so it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
It gets a lot. It gets overwhelming. And we like there's a lot that we have to keep in mind. Like I have to make sure we both keep our hands on the steering wheel at 10 and 2 whenever we get pulled over because we don't know what kind of cop we're going to get. We have to be mindful when we go to stores. I don't code switch anymore. Now I'm myself, but before it was like I need to be mindful when I talk to this person, whatever. It just got to be too much. And so what I started doing is taking a step back and really thinking to myself, okay, hold on. There's a lot of information. I know that I need to be educated. Yes, I know that I need to be protected, but what can I control? I can't control what's going to happen tomorrow with this administration, with the laws constantly changing, just like I cannot control the weather. But what I can control is how much time I'm spending scrolling, how much reading and information I'm giving myself, right? How long, I'll say this, how long I choose to react to this. Because naturally, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be furious. I'm going to be mad. But how long do I choose to stay upset? You know what I'm saying? I know that we need to lawyer up in a way, make sure that our paperwork is ready, but that's for the lawyer to decide. I have to keep that in mind. I'm not going to try and go chase like, what about this and what about that? Like that's for an attorney to do. I'll leave that shit to the specialist. And amongst all this planning and thinking, okay, what can I control? I'm forgetting the most important thing is to fucking connect with my wife. You know, you think about like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. And they're saying this and they're saying that. And oh my God, and what's going to happen? And we got to prepare our wills and the shit with our mortgage. And I got to make sure I have a power of attorney on you. You got to have a power of attorney on me. We got to get life insurance, da, da, da. But what are we doing? We're not even connected with each other. We're here on our phones. Like, did you see this? Just like,
Yeah.
let's just put the phones down. Let's have a game night. Let's watch our favorite shows on TV. You know what I'm saying? Let's watch Love Is Blind. Let's watch Love and Hip Hop. All the crazy drama shows that let's just disconnect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one thing my therapist told me too is even though you're reading healthy things for you, like one of them was for brown girls with sharp edges and tender hearts. It's a heavy book.
Oh, I can't read that book yet.
Girl,
I need to do some regulating before I dive into that one, but it's on my list.
So good. But it's also just as important to feed yourself positivity. So I always look at it as taking a step back. What can I control? what can I do about this right now? And don't forget to connect with the people you are also trying to protect.
Yeah.
Spend some time with my parents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love that. That's so beautiful. And it's such a good reminder because I mean, look, my 9 to 5 out of my 5 to 9 is spent in the headlines. I have to
Yeah.
be plugged in. I
I
have
don't
to
know
know what's
how you
going
do it,
on.
friend. I don't know how you do
Well,
it sometimes.
Well, some cry sessions, weekly therapy, my podcast, breathing, dancing, lifting
Yeah.
heavy shit in the gym, like
Yeah.
taking pub
And
pictures,
yes,
doing all the
yes.
things. Hey, familia, are you taking notes? I sure hope so. Okay, so a quick pause to ask a huge favor. Make sure you're subscribed to this podcast and YouTube channel. It ensures you don't miss any episodes and gets this content in front of more people. So please just take a second, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate your support. All right, now let's jump back into the conversation. I love that you said, what can we control? Because I have to constantly remind myself. And you've been to my house, so you see all the sticky notes I have everywhere. But
Listen,
that's,
I looks like a piñata behind the screen right now. Same thing. So I'm right there with you.
yeah, like just have literally on a sticky note, what can you control?
Mm-hmm.
I also want to circle back a little bit to connecting with the people that you love.
Yeah.
And I want to tie this back to the reel too, because when I sent you a text after I saw your reel and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't been a good friend. There's another dear friend of ours that I was like, have I been a good friend to her? Like, I'm trying to drink my water and keep myself regulated.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make sure that you stay a good friend? And how can we all be good friends to each other? Because one thing that you told me in a voice note, you said to me, we all need each other so much more right now. And I think we're afraid to stand up and say that. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to listen to that right now. But at the same time, I was like, but she's so right. So what did you mean by that? Why is that so important?
We're all hurting. We are all hurting in some way, shape, or form. And we need each other more than ever. But we get so caught up in our day to day, our families, our businesses, the headlines, right? And
Because we're
then
out here doing the most. We're the change makers, the
yes,
disruptors, and we want to
yes.
change the world.
Yes, we got bills to pay. I'm chasing, wedding clients. I'm chasing gigs. I am at gigs. At times
Writing a
I'm
book.
traveling, writing a book. Yes, which is
We'll talk
coming
about that in a
soon.
minute.
Yes. So we're doing all the things. And it's easy. I'm guilty of this too. And I didn't mean that by saying that in this reel. I'm separating this from what I said in the reel. But it's
Yeah.
easy to get caught up in your own world and start building your own assumptions about people. Man, so and so hasn't reached out to me. You know, we were supposed to go have lunch and they never text me back. Man, we used to be so close and now we're not. Like I have a really close friend of mine in Houston, and sometimes I think to myself, like, damn, I wonder if I've been a good friend to her. But it's also something I learned from Mel Robbins in a podcast and in her recent book too, the Let Them Theory.
Which I have thoughts on Mel Robbins, but we'll leave that
Yeah,
for
yeah,
a
yeah.
future episode.
For future episode. Yeah. But one thing that she did say was very true, and I'm not gonna quote her because it didn't stick verbatim in my head, but she does make sense. Is as
Summarize.
yeah, as you get older, I mean, you outgrow people sometimes, and that's okay. Sometimes, it's also giving each other because adult friendships are hard. A lot of my peers, with the exception of you and a few others, but a majority of my peers that I was really close with have families. They have kids. You know what I'm saying? I have Xochitl. Xochitl is not a person, but she has allergies. This girl is needy. Like she's got to
Look, I
get her
have two pugs. Their ear
okay.
infections out the wazoo. I'm like,
Man, listen, this girl loves to stay dirty. I just gave her, etc. Right? We got to brush her teeth now. Like Jesus Christ, and we're getting pulled in many directions. My business too. Like, how do I scale my business? My wife is still working on her business as well, and how do I support that? Right? She's got a surgery coming up. So then, what is life gonna look like during post surgery? Gonna look like? So we're getting pulled in different directions, and so I say that to say, and I'm saying this to people that if you're listening and you're one of those people that are feeling like this person hasn't reached out to me, why am I always the first one to reach out? I'm tired of it. They don't want to reach out to me, then forget them. This could be friends or family. I say this with a lot of love is you have to give people grace. You have to, because you're the only one making that up in your head that they're intentionally not talking to you when really they could be going through some shit. Or if they're not, let them be. Because how would it feel like if someone's micromanaging you? Like, how come you haven't called me? You didn't do this. You didn't text me. You didn't tell me happy birthday. And it's like, man, it's only 11. Hold on. Like, I'm at work or I'm in a meeting. I'm doing a podcast or something. So I wish people had a little bit more grace for each other. And it's totally separate from what I said in the reel. In the reel is the fake allyship. Yeah. You and I have a really good friendship because we understand what each other is trying to do. We know personal things about each other that will not be shared publicly, but I have an understanding for what you're working on, and you have an understanding of what I'm doing. And listen, when we get together, it's that much better because, like, man, we pick up where we left off. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by that is, and how do you show up for people is, it could be as simple as a text. I sent a text to this. He is actually the official MC for the LA Lakers. His name is Ray on the mic. He's out of California, out of LA. Super funny dude. I've worked with them. Yeah, I've worked with them at a couple conferences out of Denver and Austin. But this is not somebody that I text all the time. This is not a best friend of mine. This is someone that I'm like, bro, you're super cool. Like when him and I hang out, we're just clowns. But I was driving somewhere, and a song that he loves, that he always wants me to play when I introduce him, came on my Spotify. And it was as simple as, hey man, screenshot. This came up on my Spotify. I just want to say hello. I hope you're doing well, and I hope we connect sometime. Yeah. Took me 5-10 seconds out of my day. And again, not everybody has that capacity. I don't want anybody to feel like you need to do that. But yo, if it comes up, like send a text. Like, yo, I saw this, thought about you, just want to say what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And you're right. It's so simple. I have a dear friend in Dallas that we do that sometimes, and he'll send me a voice note, and he jokes. He's like, Leslie, I'm the friend with all the kids now. I can't keep track if he has 3 or 4 little girls. I'm like, or is it 5? They're so sweet, but we'll send each other a voice note. Yeah. And I can hear the girls in the background. They're like, Daddy, Daddy. And, I've got my pugs barking behind me. But sometimes it'll be like a month before he's like, I'm sorry, friend. And he's also in the journalism space. So I sent him a voice note. He's like, friend, I'm in Chicago because these Texas Democrats decided to flee the state. And now my wife has thoughts on that because just the timing of it all. But I say all that to say, I agree with you. Like it takes a little bit, have grace, because sometimes, life happens. Life happens, and you by the time you can get back to them, it'll be some time, but at least you're getting back to them and keeping that connection. Yeah. I love that.
I saw this meme on Instagram, and it said, adult friendships be like, okay, let's look at maybe spring 2026 and we can get together for coffee. But it is
that's
like that.
Us.
Yeah, that is us.
We live like what? Maybe like 10 miles away from each other.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So give each other grace, people, and like give grace to each other. Understand everybody is busy. There's nothing against you. And again, what can you control? What can you do?
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit now more about your motivational speaking and your book that you're writing, because you've given us some really great golden nuggets right now, but I know you've got a lot more. So tell me, how did you get into speaking, especially with your background? I mean, you said that you didn't know how to speak English before.
Yeah. And I share in the book how I learned English. Super cute little story. So I'll leave that in the book.
It is cute.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I worked on my English a lot, especially listening to hip hop. I always said if there was one talent in the world I could have, I swear I would give my left arm to have this talent, is to sing. I love to sing. I shouldn't. Yeah, me too. I shouldn't. Like, don't be in a road trip with me because I will sing some really bad Tony Braxton. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love singing. I love
I
singing.
sing Beyonce, and that is terrible for everybody.
Listen, but we are channeling the inner Beyonce, inner Tony, okay? But yeah, like okay, being a music head, I was very in tune as very, very little with music. Like I can listen to a song and isolate the vocals, isolate the melody, isolate the bass. I can listen to that separately. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that they could do that. I could listen to that little triangle in the chorus when it's not in the. I can hear all that, and
That
so
makes you a great DJ. I've seen you do your
thank
thing.
you. Thank you. Yeah, and that is actually the way that I DJ, which is for another topic, right?
Yeah.
I DJ in rhythms. But anyway, so when I was little, I always wanted to be Janet Jackson's backup dancer, and I always wanted to sing. And so I would practice a lot on my English by singing and enunciating how these artists would say certain words. Obviously, with hip hop, like enunciating how these rappers would have different cadences. Like you listen to DMX versus Busta Rhymes, like their cadence is crazy. Busta Rhymes is super fast. Or you listen to someone like Tupac versus Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Like the differences in their voice, etc. So that's how I practiced on my English. But when it came to speaking, what really got me out of my shell, number one, was COVID. I was so shy on the microphone. I love being on camera and being a clown, but when it came to like having a mic and speaking to millions of people on my live stream, I was like, "Hey, what's up? My name's DJ KICKIT." I wasn't even doing this yet. I was just like, "Hey, it's DJ KICKIT."
Yeah.
But I thought to myself, I'm like, how could I be more entertaining? Because if I was on lockdown, this was in 2020. If I was locked down and I was watching something on TV, I don't want to be watching someone just doing this. I was like, how could I be more entertaining? So I naturally started speaking more and just started going and like, yo, what's up, yo? My name is DJ KICKIT, da 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 da. Moving forward with motivational speaking, I have to give a big shout out to Blanca Valencia. She is an educator here in Austin, Texas. And she had heard my story. I can't even remember how, but she had heard a snippet of my story. And she was like, at that time, she was at I'll call it an alternative school. She said, I think the girls here could really resonate with your story. How would you feel about sharing some of your story with maybe a group of four groups of girls, maybe like 10 girls
Oh,
in a group?
Blanca. Sorry, that
Yes,
was real time.
girl,
My
I
brain
guess that
catching up.
horas. I was like, you scared me. I was like, what? What'd I say?
Sorry. That was real time. My brain just catching
Yo.
up. Anyways,
Wow. All right. We good?
we're keeping that in.
You're
This is
hilarious.
real.
Yes, yes. Keep it in. Oh my God. See, we're ADD friends. Yay.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we are. But anyway, yeah. So she had invited me to come speak at her school, and I was terrible. Looking back, I was terrible because I was trauma dumping. But here's the thing: when all was said and done, and I spoke to these girls and I taught them how to DJ, I was telling them certain pieces of my life that were tough that they could have resonated with, but then how I came out of it. This one girl came up to me and she confided in me and she told me some really, really hard stuff. And she said, well, because of your story, I'm going to try and do better. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay. And I was like, well, what's one action thing that you're going to do today to make yourself better? Well, I'm going to do my homework and then I'm going to read an extra chapter. Okay. And I'm going to try and ignore what's going on at my house. And I'm not going to lie. I'm sure it was a challenge based on what was going on at home that she shared with me. And I told Blanca, I'm like, yo, that was freaking powerful. She was like, some of these girls didn't say anything, but you can see it in their faces that it hit. And so ever since I took it upon myself, I registered for a speaking academy out of Atlanta called Next Level Speakers. And I just started practicing. I started going into their speaking or speech coaching is what I meant
Yeah.
to say. And I just started practicing and kept practicing, getting into their Facebook groups, doing the modules and all that stuff. And I just started putting myself out there. So fast forward to today, I get to travel across the country with a company called Top School Speakers, also known as 360 Athletics. And it's something that I not only do I get to share a lot about my immigrant stories and what it was like coming to America, etc., but I get to now resurrect a part of me that I had buried, which was my athleticism. I'm a 3-time Golden Glove champion out of
Yes,
San
she
Antonio.
is.
Yeah, I was boxing for 15 years. I'm a former soccer player. I'm a former CrossFit coach. I used to coach athletes. I can motivate the shit out of you to get to where you need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I am I was a former power lifter. I broke my state records twice.
Wow.
467 pounds was my highest squat. And so these are
Look,
things
I
that,
had to drop back to 95.
hey, it's all right. Weight is weight. Think about it. You are like, what, squatting like a fourth grader. Think about it. I think fourth graders are around 100 pounds. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, like, this is something that, like, once I was done with it, like, I stopped talking about it. And when I started speaking to these kids and working with the CEOs of our company and listening to the things that these kids need to hear, these are underserved communities, kids of color, McKinney-Vento kids, which are kids that are at risk of homelessness. I was like, I have a lot to fucking share on resiliency. I realize I've been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So here I am speaking to Latinas, kids, LGBTQ groups of all kinds about resiliency. Yeah.
I love that.
And how you too can prevent forest fires, kids. Same school.
Do kids even know who Smokey the Bear is?
No, my God. Educate
We're-
yourself, kids.
We're senoras now.
We sure are, girl. Yes, yes, we are. Oh, man.
I always like to leave off with what can people take away from listening to this? We talked about a heavy topic. We talked about a lot of fears that a lot of people in our communities are feeling. You said you can motivate anybody. What are some words of motivation for those of us out here who are the multi-hyphenate people that are the journalists, the change makers, the activists, the people who are showing up and building their own tables because they're fed up with trying to sit at other tables and being pushed away. It's hard right now. It's hard right
Absolutely.
now to exist in this world
Yes.
of the United States. What are some words of motivation? How do we keep going?
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's no doubt that life is lifing. Like, life is hard right now. Life is a challenge and people are hurting and there's a lot to be angry about. Be angry. We have every right to feel that way, but here's the thing. You don't have to live in that anger. It's like I said earlier, you can choose how long you can be angry because you can't control the government, can't control the weather. You can't control what headline's going to pop up today, tomorrow, tonight, etc. But you can control your reaction and you can control how long you choose to stay in that feeling.
And your vote.
And your vote. Okay. Your vote. Yes, exactly. Like, I chose this week, I chose to now start leaving my phone in my office versus taking it with me to bed at night. Because I already know that I'm going to doom scroll. Those funny TikTok videos, that those can be put off to when I feel better, when I'm not about to go to bed. So you can doom scroll on all day and let the noise drown out your focus. And you can feed that fear. Or you can put the phone down, put it in another room, and do something that actually moves the needle forward. So, for example, you want to lose weight? You want to spend time with your kids? You want to have a better relationship with your partner, with your spouse, with your friends? You want to grow a business? You want to start a business? You want to be booked and busy? You want to apply for that new job? You want to leave your job and follow your passion? None of that is going to happen if you keep letting the distractions run the show. And so, like I said, feel the feels, but at some point, take the driver's seat back and ask yourself, what am I doing today, tomorrow, or 6 months from now? We're 5 months away from the year being done, right? What are you going to do? What are you doing to make a difference in your life and in someone else's life? For the parents, your kids are watching you. You know what I'm saying? For us as entrepreneurs, what are we doing to leave a legacy? And I hate to think that far forward, but think about it. Like, you want to leave feeling empty, like you've done it all. And you want to leave a mark in this world where you just a little bit leaves the world a better place. I know that sounds cliche, but think about it, right? So if it gets to a point where, you know what, Carla, like, you know what, Kick It, like, I hear what you're saying. It's just really hard. Like, at sometimes, like, it's hard for me to get out of bed. I sometimes don't even feel like eating. I don't have motivation to go to the gym. I don't even have motivation to walk. I don't have motivation sometimes to do even anything that brings me joy. Well, then you know what? Talk to someone. You know, whether it's a close friend, a spouse. I mean, the people that are in faith groups, go talk to somebody there. Talk to your community. Or of all things that everybody needs is therapy, because you need to know that you're not alone. And be, the world is not going to wait for you to be ready. It's moving. So you might as well move with it, and on your own terms.
I love that. I love that. So we got some homework.
You like that, my little
Homework to
mic drop
do.
moment?
Yes, of course.
I'm
Of
joking.
course.
I'm
I
joking.
love that. I love that. We got some homework. Okay. So we're going to wrap up with some questions that I ask of every guest.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you answer them however they land for you. So the first
All right.
one is, what is one way that you're living soul-centered or sustainable right now?
One way that I'm living soul centered. What do you mean by that question? Like grounded? Is that what
However it lands for you.
meditating. I'm practicing meditating. I'm one of those that I cannot sit still. I can't even watch a movie in its full 15 minutes intro. I have restless leg syndrome. I can't do it, but I meditate now. And it is the best shit. I am so sorry to everybody that recommended it, and I said, "You crazy. That shit's for weirdos." I am so sorry I ever said
I
that.
think I was one of those, by the way.
Yeah, so my bad. No, I love it now. I love it now. This is my time, like 10, 15 minutes to myself.
I love that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. What one practice connects you to your ancestors or your inner child?
Drawing for my inner child. Fun fact, I love to draw graffiti. I love to tag. In my adolescence, in my rebel moments as a 13-year-old, I would tag empty houses in Mexico. Don't tell my mama. But they're painted over. I'm sure the houses are bought. But anyway, yeah, that connects me big time to my inner child. Is that, and if I can show you something real quick. I bought a boombox and I bought my Boys to Men tape.
Oh
So
my gosh,
listening
Boyz
to
II Men.
yes, Boys to Men, NECBB. This right here and drawing connects me to my inner child. My ancestors is wearing stuff like this, being unapologetically unspoken about the things I believe in.
Yeah,
So when they couldn't, I'll do it for you.
yeah, showing up,
Yeah.
showing up.
Yeah.
I taught a workshop, not to super digress, but I taught a workshop, and this idea came from the executive director and founder of an immigrant-led civil rights organization in Houston. It's called Fiel Houston.
Okay.
His name is Cesar Espinosa, and he said, take a picture of you, take a selfie of you, and then when you look at it, like really look at yourself and think about the hundreds of ancestors that prayed for you to get to this very moment. When you told me that, I was like, oof,
That's deep.
right?
Yeah, because looking at myself in the mirror and sometimes in pictures that people take of me, especially like a side profile, God, I am a spitting image of my grandmother when she was young. And I miss my grandma so much. I miss her so much. I'm actually named after her, Sofia, Carla
wow.
Sofia. There you go. Yeah, I miss her so much. So I see her. So yeah, I can only imagine that. So might have to try that.
Yeah, try that. Shout
Yeah.
out to the ancestors. Here
Word.
we are.
Yeah, we here.
And then last question, what is one thing that you need less of or more of? You or anybody?
Yeah. Less social media, more connection.
Yeah.
Less social media, more connection. Not no social media. Because
Just less.
just less, and more in-person connections.
Yeah.
Learn how to talk to people. Because this blank stare when I'm ordering my coffee and you're just like, it's not, bro, hey, you all
Gen
right?
Z.
You okay? I'm not ordering anything complex. I just want to talk coffee.
You just
Maybe like-
outed yourself as a millennial woman.
Me vale. I am embracing my señora era right now.
Here we are.
Here we are.
I love it.
But
I
yeah,
love
let's social media more connections.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, for those folks who do want to connect with you on social media, how do we support you? How do we get in touch with you?
Yeah.
If somebody wants to book you for a speaking gig, a DJ gig, all the
Yeah.
things, where do we find you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very active on Instagram. So I'm at DJ KICKIT 17, DJ KICKIT, the number 1, the number 7, and my website, djkickit.com. Hit me up. Let's talk. Even if you don't want to book me, you need some encouraging words. You want to go for a walk and you got a dog, let's do it. Let's get it. But yeah, hit me up. Instagram, djkickit.com. Instagram, djkickit17, website, djkickit.com.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And then I know we teased about a book, but
Yeah,
we're
we
going to have to
did.
save that for the next episode. On your website, can they find information about the book and when it's releasing and what it's about?
Not yet, but it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
So you
All
gotta,
I'm gonna
you
do,
gotta
all I'm
stay
gonna,
tuned.
you gotta stay tuned. You gotta stay in tune with Leslie. You gotta stay in tune with me. But just know that I am going to show you in this book how to beat the odds, mi gente.
Mysterious.
Yeah.
I love it. Carla, thank you so much. Thanks
Oh
for
man,
joining.
thank you.
Thanks for
I
opening your
appreciate you.
heart and helping us all a little bit during these times.
Yeah, man. No, thank you for holding this space for me and for many other guests that you've had and many more that you are going to have, because we need to talk about this. We need to share our stories. We need to share our perspectives. We need to have those conversations. Less social media and more connections.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Word.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Brunch. Don't be late.
Brunch.
More connections.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
All right, friend.
Wow, wow, wow. I am so full after having that conversation with Carla. What really stayed with me is y'all give each other grace. Think about what you can control and stay off social media for a little bit. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. You can find all of Carla's links on the show notes, so be sure to check that out. And we'll see you next week for another episode of the News Yogi podcast. I might surprise you, change things up in terms of the flow, and we might be adding more frequent guests. So stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe, all the things, and have a beautiful rest of your week. Thank you for listening to this entire episode. For that, my heart is filled with gratitude. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Spread the word to your friends and fam, whoever may be interested in this topic. This space is for you, familia. If you know someone who'd be a perfect guest, yes, including you, or you have a topic you'd like to see covered in future episodes, visit thenewsyogi.com/podcast. See you next week on The News Yogi.